Introduce, my name is Chairanya Kurnestuti. Preparing to present your mood. The key to any good oral presentation is practice, 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 and this is especially the case with mooting where the judges can and will ask you questions.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Zelva Zahra. The more you practice, the more you'll be comfortable with the unexpected, and the more comfortable you are, the more relaxed and persuasive you'll be. Practice also allows you to be flexible to answer whatever the judge asks whenever they ask it.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Diva Nafisa Zahra. So here are some tips on how to practice. First, you might want to write out what you want to say in full. This will allow you to argument in a logical way. It will also allow you to work out whether it's long or too short. Be mindful that when you actually do the mood, it has to be a conversation with the judge. You can have a fully written speech in front of you, because when you're standing up in a mood and you're nervous, you'll be tempted to read of it, and that is not what mooting is about.
Once you have read over your fully written argument a few times, try putting the main points on a single piece of paper and then practicing from that. If you can record yourself doing this so that you can check whether you miss any argument or many of the main points. But remember, when you go to actually to do the mood, it's not the fully written speech you use, but this single piece of paper, because mooting is not about reading off a script. You convince people by looking at them and talking to them. So that use a single piece of paper with the main points on it.
When writing what you are going to say, use plain English. Too many people think that mooting is about using complicated words or legal words. It's not. It's about having a conversation with the judge, and when you're having a conversation with somebody, you don't use legal words or talk in complicated way, to make sure that your arguments are explained simply.
Try practicing your oral submission to somebody who doesn't know anything about the mood or even about the law. If you can explain your argument to reasonably intelligent person so they understand it, then you're not doing your job, and allow this person to ask you questions, because that will have help you work out where it is in your oral submission things aren't explained in a simple way, at least once, and preferably many more times before your move. You should practice as if you were actually in the mood, dressing what you're going to wear, present in a formal environment, time your speech, and have somebody act as the judge. Allow the person who acting as a judge to ask you question. That way you'll better to anticipate what the judge is going to ask you. what the mood judge will be asking here at Bonn University when our students are preparing for a competition. They practice literally dozen of times before they go off to complete. Thank you. Continue to the next video. 2009 Jazz Up World Championship round. Good afternoon, President Sema and judges Gewood and Alvarez. My name is Bastian Macado, and it is a honor for me to appear before the International Court of Justice this afternoon. Pleading on behalf of the Republic of Alicante, I will speak for the following 22 minutes. And I will be addressing Alicanto's firstly submission. The first one referring to the contact to revision intervention in Alicantan territory and how it contravenes international law. And I will enter into the intelligence which was gathered to justify this operation. I will then yield the floor to my CO agent, Mr. Guillermo Turan, who will speak for 21 minutes, and he will address Alicanto's last two submissions. The third will referring to the conduct of revision troops while stationed at Camp Tara. And lastly, the assassin Ricardo Netti and how he must be immediately delivered to Alicante to comply with his judicial sentence. In consequence, Your Excellencies will be receiving 2 minutes for a rebuttal, Mr. President, and I may plead court.
In December 2005, the United Nations Security Council adopted Resolution 5,440, but which it authorized a peacekeeping operation inside the territory of Alicante. Once this operation was complete, Your Excellency, notwithstanding the allegations of the sexual exploitation and the broadcasting, subject the 403 submission. Revision decided nonetheless to interpret circumventing the fact, Your Excellency, that the Security Council rejected not once but twice an express proposal to intervene in Alicante. One of the reasons to intervene, Your Excellency, was the accession of Alicante's Prime Minister Greg Lisa Mary. But the accession is at this very moment of scanning the Camp Terra. Under the moment of scanning at Camp Terra, under the jurisdiction of the respondent state, and he is the subject of our fourth submission. It is your restless is the intervention in Alicante territory after the adoption of Resolution 6 6,620, which is of interest to the bench for a first submission.
Your Excellencies, I will deal with two arguments in our first submission. The first one referring to the legal effect of Resolution 6,620, and I will then turn to the more difficult question on this alleged rule of customary character which allow for a third say to intervene when they consider that there is a humanitarian situation that so call for this intervention. Your excellencies, as to our first round resolution 6,620 is not an authorization for the use of force. It is not because a closer look at the practice of the Security Council which will show that when the Security Council authorized Chapter 7 mission, it used three factors. I am reporting that by an intervening state, a very clear scope of MEDI is an a very precise language to authorize the mission. Your Excellencies, none of these factors are found in Resolution 6,620.
Council, would you say that for instance, the authorization given to the coalition in 1990 resolution 607 age is a good example of a clear mandate.
It is, Mr. President, for one reason, and I understand your concept. Because Resolution 978 merely referred to the obligation set out in Resolution 6,620, but it is in this sense that the mandate is very clear. That is to comply with the obligation to push Iraqi troops back into the state of Iraq. And there was a very clear language and very precise mandate. Your Excellency, nonetheless, this resolution and of the operation in 1990 did include the other factors, reporting duty by the intervening state and very precise scope or language for the authorization they respond.
As the President, I think that was adverting 678 did have language which spoke always the restoration of regional peace and security. So the Security Council does know how to talk in riddles if they want to. Does not you know that?
Your Excellence, I understand your concern and resolution 678 did not use express language such as to authorize the use of force, but it did make reference to the issue of necessity. The use of all necessary measures, and this term necessity or the question of necessity has been consistent in Security Council resolution authorizing for the use of force. Ever since the first resolution which authorized the use of force resolution HT3 1950 against North Korea.
So I'm a little puzzled in that we're immediately jumping to trying to figure out the Security Council doing, which sound like we are you are being asked. And I think this happened on the other side as well to second guess the Security Council. Why exactly, other than the fact that you've agreed to be here, does this court have jurisdiction at all? It would seem to be the case that this case is as the Security Council says, and that very same resolution says out the matter. Why are we saying of it?
Your Excellency, that question was addressed by this court in the Tehran hostage case, and in paragraph 40, it clearly states that when the council is seized of the matter in its political aspect, the court can very well be seized of the matter in its legal aspect, and that is precisely what we put forward before the court. And it is also important to not judge Alvarez that in contentious case before the court, there have been examinations on the legal effect of Security Council resolution, such as the Kirby contentious case by which the court had to analyze effect of council resolution as to determine its jurisdiction.